Hi you, it's me, and welcome once again to my table of wonder. um, Briefly, I think that foodie booty is disgusting and possibly unredeemable. And that's all I'm going to say on that. This video is actually about a YouTuber called Gothix who did a video today on how transphobia doesn't exist. And I disagree with that. I think what a lot of conservatives forget is there is a thing called xenophobia, which is the fear of things that are different from yourself and an anger for not understanding why somebody would be different from yourself. That's what xenophobia is about. And if you think about that as phobias, transphobia as well as fat phobia does exist. I can give an example, anecdotal of course, of fat phobia. I used to work at a gym, a health club, and there were many ladies and a few men that I knew that were members at my gym who were deathly afraid of getting overweight, even a pound or two. 5 pounds was a death sentence in their minds. And not only were they fearful of getting fat, but they were also fearful of talking to fat people and being around fat people, worrying that somehow their fat could go from them by way of touch, or that they could somehow catch fat. So fat phobia does in fact exist, and because people are fearful of it, there are many times where people will be bigoted, will be rude, will be nasty, will not give somebody a job, etc., etc., because they don't want it around them. The same thing can happen with transphobia. Transphobia, although I have only seen it in one case, anecdotally again, of a man who was very fearful of a person who was a trans woman. Because, again, it's like they're going to catch trans if they touch them or something. I mean, but it's a real fear. It's in their minds, but it's a real fear. It's a real phobia. So to say that these things don't exist because of the way somebody discusses it, and I will say there's a lot of leftists out there who go a little bit overboard in everything being transphobic or homophobic or fatphobic, and that just isn't true. Sometimes you just don't like a person, regardless of their sexuality or the way that they look. You just don't like them, and that's okay too. We don't have to all like each other, but we should at least respect each other. And I feel like saying that transphobia or fatphobia or homophobia doesn't exist because, what were the reasons that she gave? Oh, for transphobia, the reason is because trans people don't exist. And that's just ridiculous. You said, oh, I live in the real world where there's only man and woman. Well, that's the whole point of transitioning. If you're a man who wants to be a woman, you transition to a woman. Now, are you a woman? Sure, you're a trans woman. And I think what they're missing is that, and I get this from watching trans YouTubers as well as knowing a few people myself in my lifetime. They know that their biology isn't going to change. I was born a woman, so I will still be a woman. But the dysphoria is what bothers them, and so they change the outside appearance of themselves in order to feel more comfortable in their own body. They're aware that they're still technically what they were born, but being able to present as what they feel like they should be presenting is what makes them feel better. And if you are upset by somebody because they want to present as something differently, then that would be transphobia, because you're upset and angry with them because of something that you don't understand. And I'm not saying that you fear it, but you don't understand it, and so you want to believe that it doesn't exist. But it does, and it's okay that it does. I will say that the people in my life that I knew, a trans woman just wanted to be able to use the women's bathroom, and they're not there for nefarious reasons. They just need to go potty, you know, or maybe they want to touch up their makeup or something, or do their hair. They're not there staring down people like some weird, creepy pervert. That's not their main goal. Their main goal is just to go there, use the bathroom, and leave. Same with trans men. They just want to be comfortable going into that stall and using the restroom, and nobody's going to question it. They're just walking in there, doing their business, and go. It's the creepy perverts, the really bad people that pretend to be trans, that try to get away with all these terrible things. That does happen, and we need to address that. Yes, that does also happen, and those people should not be allowed in the bathroom to be creepy and perverted. I mean, even a born woman shouldn't be in the bathroom being creepy and perverted towards little girls. You know, that's just criminal behavior, and they should be put in prison for that kind of stuff. So we need to define. A trans person isn't going to do that. A real trans person is just, they just want you to look at them the way they feel. And that's a real thing. I'm so tired of so many conservatives discounting it. It's not fair. Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean it's not real. And to make a whole video saying, oh, transphobia isn't real because trans people aren't real, is just transphobic. It's just mean. It doesn't need to be said. You don't have to understand it. You're not going through it. But at least try to acknowledge the possibility that someone else is. And just let them be them. Let them live their lives. Anyway, that's all I got to say.